Lady is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my colleague, Mr. Guthrie, for his great work on handling this bill today and on the bill itself. No child should live in fear, Mr. Speaker, and yet every year hundreds of thousands of children across the country are abducted, abused, or exploited. The safety of America's children has long been a national priority. That's why I stand here today in strong support of H.R. 1808, the Improving Support for Missing and Exploited Children Act. In 1984, Congress passed the Missing Children's Assistance Act and established a grant to enhance our country's efforts to find missing children and prevent child exploitation. For more than 30 years, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, also known as NCMEC, has used the grant to coordinate a national response to crises and crimes affecting America's most vulnerable children. Through unique public-private partnerships, NCMEC works with families, law enforcement, schools, community leaders, and nonprofits in its efforts to find children who are missing and protect youth who are victims of sexual exploitation. The reforms in the Improving Support for Missing and Exploited Children Act will ensure the vital work of recovering and supporting vulnerable youth is able to continue, reuniting more families with their loved ones and helping victims receive the support they desperately need. This is a bill that delivers the needed to save lives. I'm also proud to say it's a bill with strong bipartisan support. At the opening of NCMEC, former President Ronald Reagan said, "No single sector of our nation can solve the problem of missing and exploited children alone, but by working together, pooling our resources, and building on our strengths, we can accomplish great things. Together we can turn the tide on these hateful crimes. Together we can turn the tide." The work of our colleagues, Representatives Guthrie and Courtney, have done to get this important bill to House floor demonstrates the type of collaboration President Reagan spoke of on that day at the opening of NCMEC. And the Improving Support for Missing and Exploited Children Act isn't the only bill we've been able to reach across the aisle on and deliver reforms that will help vulnerable youth. Working together, we're also advancing positive bipartisan solutions in H.R. 1809, the Juvenile Justice Reform Act of 2017. This bill aims at assisting a different kind of vulnerable youth, ensuring kids who find themselves in the juvenile justice system have an opportunity to turn their lives around and achieve success. Every child deserves an opportunity to make a change for the better if that child has made a mistake. By working together to develop the Juvenile Justice Reform Act of 2017, my colleagues, Representatives Lewis and Scott, have put forward a bill that will help ensure at-risk youth are afforded an opportunity to do just that. Both of these bills renew the commitment we've made to help and protect our nation's most vulnerable children. All of these reforms will make a real difference in the lives of countless children, young adults, parents, and families across the country. I'm proud of the bipartisan work we've been able to accomplish.
Additional 30 seconds.
I want to thank Representative Scott as well as Representatives Lewis, Guthrie, and Courtney for their leadership on these issues. I urge our fellow colleagues to support the Improving Support for Missing and Exploited Children Act, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Kentucky reserves his time.